Shalom. Shabbat shalom. No shalom. All right, shalom. All praises to the Most High. All right. We're gonna deal with the same touchy subject, but of course I have my wife here, so I'm not gonna go as heavy. By the way, my name is Qanath Yahawashi, and this is my beautiful wife,
Yashapa.
Yashapa. All right. So a brother of mine read out of the book of Jasher. Okay. This is a Bible that has, from Genesis to Revelation, all the Apocrypha, and it has the book of Jasher, and a few other books in it, right? So I read the book of Jasher before, right? And I don't teach on it, because certain things I can't see lining up, you know. So I don't teach on it. But when you read the book of Jasher, you have to understand who wrote that book, and to give you that false narrative on married age. And once you read that, once you do your research on it, you'll find that out, and then you'll be stuck. Okay, but since we're gonna start out real good, right? What's that song Tina Turner made back in the day?
Proud Mary.
Real easy. How she say it?
They're gonna start off slow,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna start out real slow, right? And then nice and easy, right? And then we're gonna shake things up. How about that? So what I have here.
Wait a minute before you do that.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say that the topic is about morality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the topic is not about what is lawful or legal or the age of consent. This is about morality, which a lot of people are not addressing the morality of certain behavior.
Right.
So I'd like to start with that. And
yeah, right. So, my wife said, you know what, people not, like she said, talking about the morality, and I was talking about the morals and stuff like that. So people didn't want to address. We had a great bill last night, right? And we was like, well, maybe we should make an age limit, so on and so forth. But the Bible really has an age limit. You understand? And we're going to find out what that age limit is, right? So you want me to read this first, or you want to go? I just want me to read this first, and then we can go into that. How about let's start out with a bang real quick.
Okay, sure.
Okay, we'll start out with a bang. So this book right here, right? It's the New Layman's Parallel Bible, okay? And it has the King James Version, the International Version, the Living Bible, and the Revised Standard Bible, okay? So we're going to start out with the King James, and we're going to go into Ezekiel chapter 16, all right? And we're going to read 6 through 8. Now, if you don't understand this, then we will go to the New International, Living Bible, and Revised. Now, after we read this, really, this whole thing is over. You know, when we read this, the whole thing is over about the child, her flower of her age. The whole thing is over. The laws of the land. All this is over when we read this right here. But we're going to go more into it. But this right here, when somebody got a thing called quick cuts. Well, let this cut on thou ass. Right? So read this King James, Ezekiel chapter 6, verse 8. 6 through 8.
And when I passed by thee, and saw thee polluted in thine own blood, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. Yea, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field.
Go ahead.
And thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments.
Let's say no, increase, waxing great, come to excellent ornaments. when a flower grow, right? You got a seed and it start growing and growing and growing, right? Many flowers. Go ahead.
Thy breasts are fashioned.
They're what?
Thy breasts are fashioned.
Go ahead.
And thine hair is grown.
And their hair is grown.
Whereas thou wast naked and bare.
So he's naked and bare as a baby, right? Hair is fashioned, growing. Your breast is growing, getting hair. Go ahead.
Now when I passed by thee.
Now the second time when he passed by, go ahead.
And looked upon thee.
And looked upon you, the woman, right? We Israel, but you look at this as the base between a man and a woman, a man and a child. Go ahead.
Behold, thy time was the time of love.
Now it's time for the time of love, right? Because now you're in maturity, it's time of love. Because the first time, and all that. But this time is the time for love. Go ahead. That's it?
No.
Go ahead.
And I spread my skirt over thee.
And he spread his skirt over thee. Go ahead.
And covered thy nakedness.
And covered thy nakedness. Go ahead.
Yea, I swear unto thee.
Uh-huh.
And entered into a covenant with thee.
And entered into a covenant with you. Because now the woman is of age, right? And now he's entering into a covenant. Covered her, entered into a covenant over her. Go ahead. And what happened?
Saith the Lord our power, and thou becamest mine.
And now became as mine. Like we're going to be married to the Most High. Now let's read the New International Version. Because anytime somebody, they can go into Jasher, they can go in all these different books, right? So sometimes people think they got the oil, but they got fish grease, old fish grease, right? All right. So now here go the new oil right here. So this New International, so you can get some understanding, because a lot of people don't understand the King James. So read that. Ezekiel chapter 16, 6 through 8.
And then I passed by and saw you kicking about in your blood.
He saw her kicking about in her blood.
As a baby.
As a baby. In the womb. Go ahead.
And as you lay there in your blood.
And as you lay there in your blood, go ahead.
I said to you, live.
Go ahead.
I made you grow like a plant of the field.
Made you grow like a plant of the field. Plant starts out real small. And the key word says grow. Grow like a plant of the field. Go ahead.
You grew up and developed.
And you grew up and she developed. Go ahead.
And became the most beautiful jewel.
And became a most beautiful jewel. Real pretty. Like some of these young girls, real pretty. Growing up. Beautiful jewel. Go ahead.
Your breasts were formed.
Now the breasts are being formed. Them little light bulbs, right? Them little Christmas lights being formed. Go ahead.
And your hair grew.
And the hair grew. What hair? Go ahead.
You were naked and bare.
And you were naked and bare. Come on.
Later
it came by a second time, right? Came by a second time. Come on.
I passed by, and when I looked at you.
And now the second time it came by and looked, Shazam, go ahead.
And saw that you were old enough for love.
She was what?
Old enough for love.
Young.
Old enough for love.
Age limit.
Old enough for love.
Old enough for love. Because the first time, had hair, little titties, right? Saw that. Now came by a second time, they looked and saw it was old enough for what?
Love.
For love. Go ahead.
I spread the corner of my garment over you.
Go ahead.
And covered your nakedness.
And covered her necklace with his garment. Go ahead.
I gave you my solemn oath.
Gave her oath. Go ahead.
And entered into a covenant with you, declares the sovereign Lord, and you became mine.
Became mine. Now let's go to the Living Bible. Now we about to get down to it, baby. Right? This is straight cut. We don't have to go no further. What the Bible don't say age limit. Yes, you do. You just don't understand it. They all need to be retaught. Right? It's a difference between young and old. We're going to go into that too after we read this. Give y'all some understanding. Read. It's the Living Bible. Ezekiel chapter 16, 6 through 8. Read.
But I came by and saw you there, covered with your own blood.
Covered with your own blood. Go ahead.
And I said, live.
And he said, live. Come on.
Thrive like a plant in the field.
Grow like a plant in a field. That's what children do, right? Thriving, growing. Getting stronger like a plant in the field. Come on.
And you did.
And she did. Go ahead.
You grew up and became tall, slender,
supple. Grew up, became tall and slender. Come on.
A jewel among jewels.
A jewel among jewels. Come on.
And when you reach the age of maidenhood.
And when you reach the age of maidenhood, maidenhood is Young girl and a woman, but age of matinghood. Come on.
Your breasts were full formed.
Hold on. The breast was what?
Full formed.
Full form. Come on.
And your pubic hair.
And her what hair?
And your pubic hair had grown.
Now her pubic hair has grown. Now all of us 25 and over don't have no pubic hair. We got bushy hair. Right? Ain't no more pubic hair. All right? Read.
Yet you were naked.
Yet you were still naked, but your pubic hair. Some girls grow breasts early, especially with the milk they drink in a day. Full form breasts at 9 years old, 10 years old, but still got pubic hair. Read.
Later, when I passed by.
Later on came by, right? Because time has went by. Go ahead.
And saw you again.
And saw her again.
You were old enough for marriage.
Now she's old enough for marriage. He waited. Y'all, oh, she got the blood, the flower. She thick. You ready to lay rod. Read.
And I wrapped my cloak around you to legally declare my marriage.
To what? To what?
To legally declare my
to
marriage.
Legal? Read that part. Start from the part for that thing again.
Later, when I passed by and saw you again, you were old enough for marriage.
Go ahead.
And I wrapped my cloak around you to legally declare my marriage vow.
So legal. Go ahead.
I signed a covenant with you.
Did what?
Signed a covenant with you.
Signed a covenant. Come on.
And you became mine.
And then the young, then mature woman became his. This is the Revised Standard. Ezekiel 16, 6 through 8. Come on.
And when I passed by you and saw you weltering in your blood,
go ahead.
I said to you in your blood, live.
And said you in the blood, live. Go ahead.
And grow up like a plant of the field.
And grow up like a child, a plant from the field. Grow up. Grow. In the blood, grow up. Negroes. Come on.
And you grew up and became tall and arrived at full maidenhood.
And grew up and became tall and arrived at full maidenhood, right? Come on.
Your breasts were formed.
The breast was formed. Come on.
And your hair had grown.
And the hair had grown. Go ahead.
Yet you were naked.
But yet was naked and still bare. Meaning still young but not old enough. Right? Negroes. Straight cut. Read.
When I passed by you again.
Notice that it said again in all the books. Passed by again. Right? Read.
And looked upon you.
And now look again. Uh-oh. Look at Yashapal. Come on, let's go.
Behold.
You
were at the age for love.
She's at the age for love. Go ahead.
And I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness.
Now here we go. Let's go.
Yea, I plighted my troth to you and entered into a covenant with you, says the Lord Most High, and you became mine.
And now she's mine. A woman. How about that? How about that? Okay. Now let's get into some science. And what you say the title of this class is? Again?
Well, it's not necessarily a title, but it's what the topic is about. The topic is about morality. Whether conduct or behavior is morally responsible. Not about if it's lawful or legal or what the age of consent is.
Right.
We're talking about whether or not something is moral or ethical.
Now hold on. Moral or ethical. Right now, watch this. If y'all don't want to hear my wife give y'all a lesson, because she's not reading out the Bible, just giving y'all a lesson here and there, right? Because I'm going to read for her, right? Because a lot of y'all didn't grow up with no mommy or no daddy, right? I didn't grow up with no daddy, right? And my mom died when I was, 9 years old. So you got a lot of 25, 24-year-old grown men who still thinking like a child because they was not raised right, right? Or was taught by elders and was not taught right, correctly. You understand? All right? So you can start over, get them and let you flow.
Okay. The definition of ethics: the study of the general nature of morals and of the specific moral choices to be made by the individual in his relationship with others. The philosophy of morals. So with that definition of what ethics is, Then I went over to read about morals. And when I went there, no, let me back up. Moral philosophy. Moral philosophy is the science of morality. So then I looked at morality. Morality is the quality of being moral, the evaluation of or means of evaluating human conduct, a set of ideas of right and wrong, a set of customs of a given society, class, or social group which regulate relationships and prescribe modes of behavior to enhance the group's survival. Virtuous conduct.
Virtuous.
Especially in compliance with approved codes for sexual behavior.
Virtual conduct, approved codes for sexual behavior. Read.
A rule or lesson in moral conduct. A moral. So then I was like, okay, let's look at what is virtuous. So we want to know what that virtuous behavior would be. And so virtuous says exhibiting virtue, righteous. So look at virtue. What does that look like? The quality of moral excellence, righteousness, and responsibility, goodness, conformity to standard morality or mores, as by abstention from vices.
Vices. Remember this. Remember these words. Virtuous and what's that word again?
Abstention from vices.
Go ahead.
A specific type of moral excellence or other exemplary quality considered meritorious, a worthy practice or ideal, a preferable quality. So, for someone to have virtuous conduct, they have to have all those attributes, a preferable quality. And going into the last two videos that were put out, there's nothing virtuous about that quality.
Go ahead, yeah.
Someone who has a vice. Let's look at that too. What kind of vice?
But while you look at vice, let's give them the name of this book.
Oh. This is the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language.
There we go.
So, a vice. An evil, degrading, or immoral practice.
Immoral practice.
Or habit.
Being a whore.
A serious moral failing.
A serious moral failing. A chester. A predator.
Wicked or evil conduct.
Evil conduct. Child molestation.
Or habits. Indulgence in degrading practices. Depravity. Corruption. Sexual immorality.
Hold on. What that word vice mean again?
An evil, degrading, or immoral practice or habit, a serious moral failing, wicked or evil conduct or habits, indulgence in degrading practices, depravity, corruption, sexual immorality.
Sexual immoralities, right? Immoral. I said we try to do, where your morals at? This is what? Immoral, right?
This is vices.
Vices being what?
Immoral.
Immoral.
Evil, degrading, serious moral failing. Someone who would like to groom a child to be their wife. That is, in itself, by definition of vice, an indulgence in a degrading practice.
There we go. So, wait.
So, I went back to what moral meant.
See, when you have a woman, it's a difference between a woman and a child, right? And I hope y'all can see the difference between, say, a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 18-year-old, a 19-year-old. It's a difference. It's a difference. You can't see it? You can't tell it? Thou shalt open up thy mind. You can't see the difference in her body language, the way she speaks, how she respects herself, respect me, how she's her own woman. You can't see this? That she's been nurtured the correct way by her mother and her father, and how she grown to be a woman and with someone of her same age. Go ahead, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
So it made me think again about this moral or lack of moral behavior, lack of moral conduct, lack of moral thinking. When there are some individuals who will not address that topic.
Right.
They want to say what it's not. Oh, well, the age of consent is. Well, we're not talking about that, as I said before. We're talking about morally. What's moral? Is this righteous? Is it a practice that means good to the community or not? So let's look at, again, let's read what moral is. Of or concerned with the judgment of the goodness or badness of human action and character, pertaining to the discernment of good and evil, designed to teach goodness or correctness of character and behavior, being or acting in accordance with standards and precepts of goodness or with established codes of behavior.
Established codes of behavior. I like that one. Go ahead.
Especially with regard to sexual conduct.
Sexual conduct, especially with sexual conduct. And what definition we reading?
Moral.
Morals. So what I was saying, we talking about morally, you brothers act like you ain't know what the hell I was talking about. Something that's supposed to be right, especially with sexual conduct. Go ahead.
Arising from conscience or the sense of right and wrong.
Having a damn common sense to know what's right and wrong is to be moral, especially with sexual conduct. See? Well, in this state, in this country, they say learn not the way of the heathen. Okay? Let's go.
A moral obligation.
Obligation. Go ahead. That's it?
I think that's good.
That's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we just begun on it. Because we're going to get to the science, too.
Yep. Oh, yes. Matter of fact, going back to vices.
Right.
Let me read that one more time about vices. Because then I think I was looking at Galatians.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vice. An evil, degrading, or immoral practice, a serious moral failing.
A serious, hold on. Vice is a serious moral failing.
To court a teenager, to be a wife, is a serious moral failing.
Mm-hmm.
Wicked or evil conduct.
Wicked! Evil conduct. Mind your business act. Why you putting this business out in the street act? See, y'all need to be retaught by somebody who really loves you. Right? Who really cares for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Let me finish.
And that this word clout, you know, you looking for a clout. Clout on what? All you niggas broke. Just like us. About clout. You're broke. You're month to month. Okay, you're month to month. Go ahead.
Wicked or evil conduct,
Mm-hmm.
or habits, indulgence in degrading practices, depravity, corruption, sexual immorality.
Woo!
That made me think of Galatians.
Woo!
Galatians 5:19.
Read.
You can read that.
Okay.
I'm going to look this up.
Okay, Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. And it reads on this wise. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adulteries, fornications, uncleanness, lasciviousness, right? Very wicked, right? Long word for my tongue.
So then I was like, okay, we for those who don't know what lasciviousness is,
right?
Lascivious, of or characterized by lust.
Lust can't be. These guys cannot be in lust over a child.
Lewd.
Woo.
Exciting sexual desires.
Exciting, turned on by a damn child.
Wanton, lustful.
See, when you get a woman, you can sit beside your woman, and she can sit beside you, right? And you can help the people. Keep your woman quiet, Ak. Don't let her say nothing, Ak. But let me go talk to that child, Ak. Let me groom that child, Ak. And deal in, what's that word again? That long word again? Lasciviousness. Okay? Let me deal in that, Ak. Let me be a rude boy, a pull-up boy. We going to the schoolyard and we getting everybody with the brown khakis on, with our wanton eyes. Come on.
A person who is sexually attracted to children. That's a form of lasciviousness. It's also called a pedophile. Now, what is a child?
What is a child?
One of the definitions I have of a child is a young human being below the age of puberty or below the age of majority.
Puberty. Remember we read earlier out of the Bible and other Bible content? Pubic hair below puberty. That's a child. Go ahead.
So then I was like, okay, so what's the age of maturity? And when I looked that up, the age of maturity is 25.
What?
It's generally 25. It is 20.
Tell them again. I don't think they heard you.
25.
14.
25.
The law says 16.
Yeah, the law can say what it wants to say.
In Africa, he got 12 and 13.
The law can say what it wants to say.
Ohio says 16.
We're talking about morality.
New York says 17. Morality. Ethics. Come on.
And brain maturity.
And what?
Brain maturity.
Oh, I thought the brain the same from birth to a grown man. Grown woman. Oh, I thought the brain was the same thing. Brain what?
Maturity.
Some people don't think obviously, some people's brain have not matured.
And for those of you that are not educated, or if you don't remember very well, your 40-year-old brain is not the same as your 15-year-old brain. Your 30-year-old brain was not the same as your 13-year-old brain. Your 20-year-old brain is not the same as even your 25 or your 30-year-old brain.
Right.
So, with all that being said, brain maturity extends well beyond teen years. Under most laws, as people like to go to sometimes, young people are recognized as adults at age 18. But emerging science about brain development suggests that most people don't reach full maturity until the age of 25.
Where we get this from? What doctor says this?
Well, no, actually, there's a neurologist who wrote a book. Her name is Dr. Sandra Emmott. She wrote a book titled "Welcome to Your Child's Brain."
Welcome to your child's brain. Okay, how about that? Okay, we're going to play a clip, right? And we want, listen up very carefully, right? So we can see where your brain is, right? Welcome to the child's brain, all right? Listen up and listen closely. All right? Oh, let's hope it plays here. But if it doesn't play, we'll read it, let it load up. At the end of the day, man, what we want y'all to understand, right? Don't get yourself caught out there. If you feel this way, here we go.
Michelle Martin is away. We'd like to spend this part of the program talking about the passage from childhood to adulthood and how that may be tougher for one distinct group of young people. Most of the privileges and responsibilities of adulthood are legally granted by the age of 18. That's when you can vote, enlist in the military, move out on your own. But is that the true age of maturity? A growing body of science says no. The critical parts of the brain involved in decision-making are not fully developed until years later at age 25 or so. In a moment, we'll hear about how child advocates are hoping to use this research to change the laws about their foster care. But first, to learn more about adolescent brain development and maturity, we are joined now by neuroscientist Sandra Amick.
Neuroscientist, not no elder.
Book, Welcome to Your Child's Brain, How the Mind Grows from Conception to College. Sandra, welcome to the program. It's nice to have you.
It's nice to be here.
Is this idea that the brains of 18-year-olds aren't fully developed a matter of settled science?
Yes, the car rental companies got to it first, but neuroscientists have caught up, and brain scans show clearly that the brain is not fully finished developing until about age 25.
To not be too clinical in the spin that we put on this, what parts of the brain are we talking about, and what changes happen between the ages of 18 and, let's say, 25?
So the changes that happen between 18 and 25 are a continuation of the process that starts around puberty. And 18-year-olds are about halfway through that process. Their prefrontal cortex is not yet fully developed. That's the part of the brain that helps you to inhibit impulses and to plan and organize your behavior to reach a goal. And the other part of the brain that is different in adolescence is that the brain's reward system becomes highly active right around the time of puberty and then gradually goes back to in entering uncertain situations to seek out and try to find whether there might be a possibility of gaining something from those situations.
So this is important. Are the physiological changes in the brain in terms of the development of young people as significant and impactful as the cultural changes and environmental changes that they go through vis-a-vis peer pressure, things of that sort?
Well, actually, one of the side effects of these changes in the reward system is that adolescents and young adults become much more sensitive to peer pressure than they were earlier or will be as adults. So, for instance, a 20-year-old is 50% more likely to do something risky if two friends are watching than if he's alone.
Is there a difference between
they doing it.
males
and
do females with regard to their brain development, in this, particularly in this age category?
Remember 25?
Females' brains develop about, on average, 2 years earlier than male
so
brains.
So a male 25,
so
she's 23.
You're more likely to
mentally
have a late developing male brain than female.
So when females say they're smarter than guys, it really is true?
Especially around about the age of 15 or so, yes.
What does this mean? In a minute, we're going to be hearing from some advocates who think that the foster care system needs to be changed in that.
So a 15-year-old girl is smarter than a 17-year-old boy.
You're booted
or
out
18-year-old boy in some
Their argument is, based on some of the research
development
that you are
of
now
the brain.
citing, that these young
brain
people
processing.
are not really ready for the adult world. What is the impact for someone who lives in a foster care kind of setting as far as their brain development is concerned?
One of the things that deprived childhood causes is problems with prefrontal cortex function. So somebody who has had an unstable home life is more likely to have trouble with the planning and organizing behavior and with inhibiting impulses than somebody who's had a stable life.
Would you say, based on the research that you are now citing, that it would make more sense to have the legal age become 25 instead of 18 or 21 in some cases?
No,
I think it makes sense to have different ages for different functions. Obviously, some 18-year-olds are competent to go out into the world and handle things by themselves, and some of them aren't. It would be nice if we had a little more flexibility to distinguish the two in the legal system.
Final thing is, if these age limits are not adjusted to take into account the effect of that the research has shown, what is the price, if I can put it that way, that society will end up paying down the road? I know that's a pretty large question, but another way of saying it is, how important is it for us to address this and do something about it now?
Many of the costs of adolescence are actually what we think of as the costs of adolescence, the risk of crime and car accidents and all the crazy things that adolescents do are actually more issues with young adults, people in the 18 to 25 age range, largely because they have more opportunities to get into these kinds of trouble because they have less parental supervision than the younger adolescents do.
Sandra Ament is a neuroscientist and the co-author of Welcome to Your Child's Brain, How the Mind Grows from Conception to College. She joined us from Capital Public Radio in Sacramento, California.
All praise to the Most High. So we deal with it scripturally, morally, breaking down definitions, right? Scientific evidence, okay? Do you have any more to give them?
Just because a female may look ready, may not be ready up here, just because the age of consent, someone wants that to prevail over morality, over having good behaviors that benefit the community, benefit the whole group. This lack of morals and ethics is harmful when we're not protecting our children. So anyone that's not standing up for protecting of the children and are primarily concerned with the age of consent, you need to look at whether or not you are upholding moral character, virtuous character. Where's your moral compass when you do not check people? Where's your moral compass? It's supposed to be over here, but it's all the way over there.
Some people worried about why you putting that person's name out there. They worry more about the person that's a predator on the child and exposing them more so than the child. How do you feel about that?
I feel it's morally reprehensible. That is for someone to say, you know what, I see that 15-year-old girl over there, I'm gonna groom her to be my wife, so when she reaches the age of consent, bam. All I see is somebody who is being creepy by looking at a 13, 15, 14, 15, 16-year-old and having that lascivious spirit.
Are you clout chasing?
No.
What are you chasing? Are you happy?
I'm chasing what the Most High wants me to chase, and that's for us to protect our families. The Most High said to protect your house, protect your wives, protect your children. I'm about protecting Israel. And I am about bringing light to darkness.
Nehemiah 4:14. Go ahead.
Why you talk? I'm about, we're gonna call it out. We're gonna call it what it is. And for those who want us to be quiet, or for those who choose to be quiet, your moral compass is broken. What do you want me to read?
Nehemiah 4:14. At the end of the day, guys, here it is, man. At the end of the day, we have to think. We have to think, man. You have to think. We gave you scientific evidence. We gave you, and we're going to end with the again, so people didn't catch the beginning. So read Nehemiah 4:14 real quick.
And I looked and rose up and said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them.
Don't be afraid of your so-called leaders where they got supervisors, Becky they boss, right? Don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid they're going to try to put you in the street or put you out to school, right? Or put you out to camp. Don't be afraid of them. Go ahead.
Remember the Lord.
Remember the Most High. Don't worry about that man who can kill the body but can't kill the spirit and the soul. Go ahead.
Which is great and terrible.
The Most High is great and terrible. He'll protect you. He'll protect you. He's great and he's terrible. I mean, he will kick behind. Read.
And fight for your brethren.
Fight for who?
Your brethren.
Fight for your brethren. Go ahead.
Your sons.
Your sons.
And your daughters.
Fight for your daughters. Fight for your daughters. Don't be afraid of them. Fight. Stand up. Don't worry if they say you clout chasing. Don't worry if they say why you put that man business in the street. And look for and watch out for this one. Watch out for this one. We got a lot of work to do. We can't be worried about tail bearing. We got things to do out here. It's other things going on. We might be heading in World War III. They're gonna say all these different things, right, to divert on dealing with the issue. They're gonna say all these mark these words. They're gonna say all these other things to divert from the issue. You clout chasing. Stop hating. This nigga jealous. Right? They want attention. Well, in this country, that country, the age say this. Fight for your sons. Fight for your daughters. Come on.
Your wives and your houses.
And fight for your wives in the house of Yasha Allah. Now we're going to read this again. This is Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 6 through 8. And I'll read some of you get tired of reading this. I'll have to read this. Let's go.
The King James Version.
Uh-huh.
And when I passed by thee and saw thee polluted in thy own blood.
Polluted in thy own blood. Right? It's a metaphor.
In the womb.
In the womb. Right? Or if you want to say they flower age, whatever you want to call it. Right? Read.
And I said unto thee when thou wast in thy blood, live. Yea, I said unto thee when thou wast in thy blood, live.
Live. Come on. Live. Remember we always say, Bakwa said this earlier. He told that dude, man, let her live, Let her live. That's what Bakwa said. He said, leave that girl alone. Yaikwab. Let her live. Read.
I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thy hair is grown, whereas thou wast naked and bare.
Thy breast is fashioned, and the hair is grown, but they naked, brand new, a child, a baby in the field, growing. Live, let them live. Come on.
Now when I pass by thee.
Now the second time he passed by.
Third time,
actually the third time. Go ahead.
And looked upon thee. Behold, thy time was the time of love.
Now is the time for love. Right? Same age bracket. Right? The time for love. Come on.
And I spread my skirt over thee. And covered thy nakedness.
Ow!
Yea, I swear unto thee, and entered into a covenant with thee, saith the Lord the Most High, and thou becamest mine.
Now, mine. Go now. Read that.
The New International Version.
Because you can go into Jasher, you can go into all these other books, so we gonna go in the International Version. Since certain people don't understand Scripture, like Hosea 7:8, Jeremiah 12:9, or 2nd Esdras chapter 13:1 all the way through. Don't understand, right? So you need to get a new revised version. So you can learn, or come over here to F.O.P. so you can get focused up for our people edification. Get edify, baby. Right? We get down. Let's get it. Come on.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verses 6 through 8.
Go.
In the New International Version.
Come on.
Then I passed by and saw you kicking about in your blood.
Kicking. Like a baby kicking about in the blood. Come on.
As you lay there in your blood, I said to you, live.
As she lay there, right, in the blood, live. Because I always ask, what's the age limit? If you say consent, whatever, what's the age limit? You gonna get them out the womb? You gonna get them out the womb? Kicking in the blood. He said, live. Let her live. Go ahead.
I made you grow up like a plant of the field.
Grow up like a plant. Let her grow up like a plant of the field, right? Start out real small. Everything look like grass. Next thing you know it's a plant. Next thing you know it's a daggone tree. Right? Come on.
You grew up and developed and became the most beautiful of jewels.
You grew up and developed. Hey, she developed. That's a woman. Shit, she got big titties, big behind, right? Pretty. Look like Yashapa. Right? Go ahead.
Your breasts were formed and your hair grew.
Uh-huh.
You who were naked and bare.
Uh-huh. Naked and this thing make my eyes look cross-eyed when this thing go here. But go ahead.
Later I passed by.
Later on, passed by. Go ahead.
And when I looked at you and saw that you were old enough for love.
Now she's old enough for love. Right? She was naked and bare and had hair. That's like a rap. Naked and bare had hair. But go ahead. Now pass by a second time. Go ahead. Third time. Slack it.
Baby, maiden.
Baby, maiden. Come on.
Adolescent maiden.
Adolescent.
I spread the corner of my garment over you and covered your nakedness. I gave you my solemn oath and entered into a covenant with you, declares the sovereign Lord, and you became mine.
That's right. Sovereign covenant. Read this one. Now, here goes some more head choppers. Mark this down. Okay? Go.
The Living Bible version of Ezekiel 16, verses 6 through 8. But I came by and saw you there, covered with your own blood, and I said, live.
Said live, covered your own blood. It said live. Let her live. Let her live. Come on.
Thrive like a plant in the field.
Thrive like a plant in the field. A plant in the field. Now children say, we say back, go out in that field and play, boy. Go out in that field and play, girl. Go out there, live. Get out the house, have fun, go play, go outside, go play, live. Go ahead.
And you did.
And they did.
You grew up and became tall, slender, and supple.
Grew up, became tall, slender, and supple. Whatever that means, but go ahead.
A jewel among jewels.
A jewel among jewels. Fine, precious. Right? Fine and precious. Stop letting these men take your jewels, brothers and sisters, our children. Come on.
And when you reach the age of maidenhood.
Reach the age? I thought any age.
Maidenhood.
Reached an age of maidenhood. Go ahead.
Your breasts were full formed.
Now they full form.
And your pubic hair had grown.
What? The what hair?
Pubic hair had grown.
Now her pubic hair has grown. She's still in puberty, nigga. Go ahead.
Yet you were naked.
Yet she was still young. Yet naked. Pubic hair. Right? Like when you getting a mustache. This is a mustache. When a boy get it, we call it peach fuzz. Go ahead.
Later when I passed by.
Now the third time passed by looking at her.
And saw you again. You were old enough for marriage.
Now old enough for marriage. Like we reborn again. Coming back to the Most High. Yahawashi. Right? We the bride. I know that. But look at the concept of it. Open your mind. Read.
And I wrapped my cloak around you.
Go ahead.
To legally declare my marriage
vow.
What?
To what?
To legally declare my marriage vow.
To what?
Legally declare my marriage
legally.
vow.
Go ahead.
I signed a covenant with you. And you became mine.
Signed a covenant. Signed a covenant. Last one. Here come the fire.
The Revised Version. Of Ezekiel 16, verses 6 through 8.
Get it?
And when I passed by you and saw you weltering in your blood.
Let's say her period. Right? Or in the womb. Weltering in the blood. Come on.
I said to you, in your blood, live.
Live. Let her live.
And grow up like a plant of the field.
And let her grow up. Let that 15, 16, 17-year-old grow up like a plant in the field. But Quash told that Negro, let her live. We telling you, let her live. Go ahead.
And you grew up and became tall and arrived at full maidenhood. She may have the big titties and a big behind, full maidenhood. But is she ready? Let's see what the scriptures say. Her mind's not ready.
Her mind not ready. What's not ready? Her what?
Her mind's not ready.
Her mind, which we call the moral what? Come on, go.
Your breasts were formed and your hair had grown, yet you were naked and bare. Verse 8, when I passed by you again.
Again, the third time, right? Israel. This is talking about Israel, but it's the woman. We are the woman. Israel's a woman, and so is our little girls right now. They're the same thing, the babe. Read.
And looked upon you, behold, you were at the age for love.
You say, you look at it and say, behold. Now she's of age not of body, of age. Read that whole part again. Behold.
Behold.
Behold, Yashapa.
You are at the age for love.
You are at the age for love now. Come on.
And I spread my skirt over you.
Let's go.
And covered your nakedness. Yea, I plighted my troth to you. And entered into a covenant with you.
That's what I did.
Says the Lord, the Most High, and you became mine.
So with that, you have anything you want to say on any more you want to say on that?
I want to also one more time for those in the cheap seats.
That's a good one.
Check your moral compasses. I will read to you again about what morality is and see where your moral compass falls in this definition of morality. See if you are holding on to vices. And check your moral compass. So, morality, the quality of being moral, the evaluation of or means of evaluating human conduct, a set of ideas of right and wrong, a set of customs of a given society, class, or social group which regulate relationships and prescribes modes of behavior to enhance the group's survival.
And it says society that regulates relationships, regulates relationships, right? When you can enter into a relationship, a predator can't enter a relationship with a child. Go ahead.
Virtuous conduct. Virtuous conduct.
A virtuous woman, Proverbs 31, was a virtuous child. A virtuous woman in Proverbs 31 or a virtuous child? A virtuous woman in Proverbs 31 or a virtuous child? A virtuous teenager? A virtuous adolescent? Or a virtuous woman? A virtuous girl in Proverbs 31 or a virtuous woman? I'm going to folk you up. Let's go.
Virtuous conduct, especially in compliance with approved codes for sexual behavior. We do not approve of the message that a grown man, an older man, can groom a teenager. We do not approve of that message.
That's right.
A rule or lesson in moral conduct.
That's it.
So that was on my spirit today. I want to thank the brother Yehuda.
All praise the brother Yehuda. Israel. We was thinking about this. My wife was thinking about this. I was saying we're gonna do something on this, and she said I got it, and she came up with this. I'm looking up the scriptures, and she was getting it. The Most High was blessing her, and then my brother Yehuda Israel, all praises, officially a part of F.O.P.E. Only means we going into the knowledge to edify you, because we're the body of Yasha Allah, Israel. Okay, that's what we really in, right? But he said, brother, read these scriptures right here. I said, bam, that's it. I said, I'm going to give you a shout on it because you gave me those scriptures that the Most High sent to you. So we give all the praise to the Most High by Ha Mashayach Yahawashi, right? That blessed that brother Yehuda who been doing the work for years, right? The man said he couldn't hardly sleep after he saw these videos or these pictures. So he said, read them verses right there, Qanath. They'll listen to you. You understand?
You know what? I think I want to read something.
Yeah, read. Oh, yeah, right in the Apocrypha.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. A few more scriptures. So, I mean, if anybody try to refute this, they're the devil. Straight up. If you try to refute this, you are the devil. If you're trying to find a way to get in a little girl's panties, a child, if you're trying to find, I can still put my rod in a 15-year-old. I can still put my rod in a 16, 17-year-old because the laws of the land. And we talk about morality, morals, right? We gave you scientific evidence, and we give you scriptures, right? So if you try to come against this, then you are the devil and a freaking pedophile on the low and trying to make yourself look good, right? If anybody, I'm telling you, if anybody, not to say that we so holy and thou, but we gave you the proof and the evidence. If you try to come against that, you are the devil that the Bible speaks of. And don't be so proud to say, you know what? Damn, that's it. Or add to it. Ask for the Most High to give you the ability to add to this lesson here. Okay? To bring it out even more. Like the scriptures say, iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. So sharpen this up. Add to it. But don't add to it so you can sleep with a child. Because if anybody try to add to it and say, no, see, it's not saying age, or no, see, we can still, Mary was 10 and Jasher. And you don't know that's wrong. It's not a shot at anybody, but people will use that there. And many other books. See this? This right here. I've been had the book of Jasher. Right? This whole book right here. Let me see, can I get this to you real quick while she looked that up? Okay? And it's in the Hebrew. All that, right? The book of Jasher. Hold up, let me show you. I'm not playing with you. Okay? We ain't just started this yesterday. We ain't just started this yesterday. We almost there. We have to stop it, man. Let's stop being proud. Here we go. This says the Holy Scriptures with the book of Jasher. See the green? With the book of Jasher. Because it also has in it. Let me get it. Come on. You see this? Table of contents. Right? It has Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Jasher, Joseph, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, Prayer of Manasseh, Ezra, 1 Ezra, 2 Ezra, Nehemiah, Tobit, Judah, Esther, addition to Esther, 1 Maccabees, 2 Maccabees, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, Songs of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Baruch, Epistle of Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Bell of the Dragon, Sons of the Three Holy Children, Hosea's History of Susanna, Hosea, Job, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Hagar, Zechariah, Malachi, Matthews, Mark, Luke, John. Oh, you over there? Yeah. Okay. Acts, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philippians, Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, Job, and Revelations. All right? So we got it. Take it in context. What you got for them? And then we out of here.
For those with those vices that we spoke of earlier. In Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9, verse 5. Gaze not on a maid.
Gaze not what?
On a maid.
Stop looking on that young maiden. Go ahead.
That thou fall not by those things that are precious in her.
Her stuff. Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus 18 and 30. For those with those vices. Go not after thy lusts.
Go not what?
After thy lusts.
If you're grooming a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and you 50, nigga, you in lust.
Yep.
There's nothing to talk about. You can't keep it with her athletic-wise. Right? Nothing. Only thing you see is pointy titties in the behind. That's all you see. And that's all you want. And you want to spoil her like that. You damn devil.
Start thinking like,
yeah,
my
my mind is telling me no.
But your body.
But your body's telling you yeah. And again, most High will say, I got you, yeah.
Yep.
R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah.
Oh.
No.
Don't do that.
What's that song say? No, 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 no. Go ahead.
It's Ecclesiasticus chapper 18, verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Refrain yourself from your appetites. Put some ice on yourself, man. Take a sleeping pill. Do something. Jump in the cold bath, ice water. Restrain yourself from your sexual appetite, you sexual deviant or deviates. You whoremongers. Restrain yourself. With that, my name is Qanath Yahweh Bun Yasha Allah. This is Yashapa. We say Shalom family.